So you want to 100% Wolfenstein 2, and this achievement stands in your way. Crazy and dedicated, welcome to Mein Leben. I myself have complete Wolfenstein 2 on Mein Leben, and what I will show you in this video are all the strategies which I used by looking at all the strategies I could find online for every single section on Mein Leben, as well as doing some experimenting myself. I figured out the superior strategies and then stitched together this run. Given how few people have done this, I'd reckon that this could be the most consistent Mein Leben run. Maybe, probably, possibly. And just briefly, if you're new here, this is how quickly you die in Mein Leben. You have no saves. Welcome to Mein Leben. The first mission is actually one of the hardest for a number of reasons. That being said though, I am glad with how consistent I have gotten this. For this first enemy, we'll want to be positioned roughly a third from the right hand side of this doorway, then we lean out and shoot through this board. He only takes a couple shots to kill. Shoot out the rest of this board to gain a better line of sight, and we're going to wait here in this spot for the next two enemies to arrive. They can take a while but still stay behind here. Lean out and shoot them, and then when you're done with them, collect as much health and armor as you possibly can. There's another two enemies, and we will use the same strategy by leaning behind the door. Their positions are fairly hazy, but practice will make this a lot easier. This is one of my poor attempts. There is also an explosive on the wall, and there's some armor in this box as well. You obviously don't have to attack these guys, just wheel your way around so that Set notices you. And if we come back here, there's a fairly, not hidden, but it's not in plain view, a bit of armor there. And also collect their helmets just to get as much armor as possible. There are 5 enemies in this next room, and I've gotten this fairly consistent. Immediately move forward, turn on the traps. That will kill the first enemy. We then wheel down, and there's an enemy to our right. I shoot him, usually. I'm getting an achievement here, so I melee him. But generally I shoot him by starting to shoot at his feet. Headshots really don't work with this weapon. And then I shoot there, obviously. You'll hear 2 explosives to your left and then 1 to your right. That is all the enemies in this room. So shooting him will kill him and then also distract the other enemies and they'll get killed by the traps. And obviously, do not forget to turn off the traps. Do note that it is possible to actually clip inside this wheel if your timing is awful. I figured that out the hard way. If that happens, you're fucked. Assuming that that doesn't happen, however, we will go up and immediately start shooting at this man's feet. Again, don't really go for the heads. And then these next 2 enemies, we're going to spray and pray. Try and equalize your bullets between them. Make sure to go up the right-hand elevator and not the left-hand elevator. If you go up the left-hand elevator, there's a chance this enemy might see you. Turn on this trap, then wheel our way to the left. Fire a bullet, he will get distracted and walk into the trap. Now we're going to keep the trap on, and there are 5 enemies in this next room. The first is up here, and we sort of burst fire him. That's why we keep on the traps. So a couple enemies on the bottom floor will sometimes walk into traps. Sometimes all 3 down there do. I think there's 3. There's 2 or 3 down there. Usually a couple of them do walk into the traps, and there's also an explosive down there which I like to use. The last enemy is over here, and once you start shooting him, he will walk round to the left. Don't lean out too far or he will shoot you, but if you burst fire him as well, he's usually the last. And once it's quiet, turn off the trap. That is very important. If you don't, you're fucked. But once it's quiet, wheel your way down. It's rare that this enemy will shoot at you from the angle that he does here. I think I just moved forward a bit too quickly. So the idea is you hang back, wait for him to walk up the stairs and burst fire him as he's walking up. I got quite lucky and actually managed to kill him fairly quickly. He very often just refuses to die. Don't even try and shoot the guy that you see there, because he actually can return fire. It's very strange. But this enemy here, again, just burst fire him. That has to be timed very well. You're going to want to wait for the first enemy to walk past the explosive, and the moment you can see the explosive again, you fire. And that should kill both of them. This is why we turned off the traps before. If you do not turn off the traps, you'll have to go all the way around and there are more enemies. So make sure to turn off the trap. There's one more enemy now, and then we're done with this level. I think I know this entire cutscene off by heart, and it's moments like these during Mein Leben that are your only sources of entertainment and mental help, so appreciate these moments while you have them. There's also a neat little skip here that is fairly safe, and you do it by jumping on the railing, jumping there, and then that will teleport you onto the ladder, which will just save a little bit of time.
Like they taught us back in boot camp. Take out the commanders first.
Pick up the grenades, chuck one of them at the commander, and lean out and shoot all of the enemies that you can see. And turn and throw grenades towards the door that opens at the far side. You might get lucky, as I did, and kill some of the reinforcements. Never leave this spot. This is your safe space, and keep the submachine guns dual wielded, because this is not a good weapon. So by dual wielding them, we make them almost competent. And this encounter actually has an indicator. Blazkowicz will actually start speaking, and we'll talk about Odin once combat has ended, so that's your cue.
Odin. Automated security system.
Stock up on everything, but most important of all, get the hatchet on the wall. We want to get as many of those as we can. We will need them for later. Open everything up. Chuck a grenade to blow up the tank, and just continue to stock that up.
Got myself a new exit.
Crouch walk down here, and jump on top of this box. We're then going to melee this guy as he walks round. There's also another hatchet on the wall there, and my stupid arse forgot to get it. Nonetheless, circle round, and we're gonna either throw a hatchet at this guy, or just do a stealth takedown on him. Now we lean out and chuck all the grenades that we have into that little room, because that is where the commander lies. If you're lucky and you kill him, you're going to want to do the same thing that I'm doing here, and I did not kill him, and I'm just going to stay at this doorway and kill all the enemies as they run towards me. At this point, you can also use the Sturmgewehr. Yes, that grenade fucking hit me and not him. You can use a Sturmgewehr. I, out of habit, just don't. But these enemies are so close towards us, I usually don't bother, because the machine-gun pistols are actually okay at close ranges. Once the commander runs towards you and you kill him, that's usually this encounter over. And Blazkowicz will also speak to Caroline when this is over as well.
Caroline, I'm hurting. Will you lend me your wings?
There are now 2 more enemies that we can trigger to run towards us by walking down the ramp. I equip the pistols purely for the reason that they're semi-automatic, and these enemies are usually fairly far away. I spam them with the pistol, that's 1. They're completely fucking brain dead and clueless to where you are. Now run back, and we will encounter our first super soldaten. We want to run quickly behind him, shoot him in the back after waiting a bit. If you kill him really quickly, he can actually teleport away, but he doesn't disappear. If he seemingly disappears, because you killed him so quickly, check upstairs, you'll usually find the laser gewehrs up there. And now we lean behind this bit of cover with the laser gewehr, shoot down one of the entrances, and just camp, essentially. And if you're feeling confident and or narcissistic, you can also shoot out the other one to get a wider plane of view, but they will also have a better chance of hitting you back.
recharge this thing.
This encounter does not have an indicator when it ends, so take note of that. When you think they're all dead, they usually aren't, so be cautious when it goes quiet and slowly make your way up. And this encounter is why we get the hatchets. There are 3 in total I think you can get. I only ended up with 1. Nonetheless, it is possible. We lean up there and hatchet that commander. Make sure to pick it back up. There's another soldier over here. I go to the last railing that is cover, lean up, aim just below that top platform, throw it. This part is timed. If you're too slow, there is an enemy that will see you, and if he sees you, the reinforcements will spawn, and when the reinforcements spawn, they spawn at the exit point. That's not good, because there's a super soldat in there. I was unable to pick the hatchet back up, and I sort of do a bit of adapting. Usually you lean behind that cover. When he appears, you throw the hatchet and kill him. I had to wait and then do a stealth takedown on him. You have to kill him because he will walk around, see the body and set off the alarm. And then, as I explained, if the alarm goes off here, you're fucked. So after him, we're gonna walk up to the exit and we should be done with this encounter. Once you proceed into the next room, there will be an enemy right in front of you, so immediately shoot him. These guys will be alerted to you pretty much anyway, so it doesn't really matter. There's also no commander. This is also the place where I actually used the Sturmgewehrs for the first time. That is because there is a super soldat in here, and we're going to want to shoot him. Preferably in the legs is where he seems to be the weakest. Although our weapons here without upgrades are absolutely fucking borderline useless, so he is not easy to take down. I did die in this room in one of my Leben attempts. If you do kill him, do be aware though that he is likely not the last enemy in this room. There's usually 1 or 2 other Nazis in here. There are 3 ways to approach this last little encounter. You can do it the coward way, where you just stay behind this cover and wait for Sigrun and Fergus to shoot these 2 Nazis, although they take fucking years. There's the Chad way of just rushing up to them and blasting them. It's quite risky, but or you can experiment with the game's terrible iron sights and just hide behind this cover and shoot them. Yeah, it's up to you. I don't really care. There's a hatchet in front of you as soon as you enter this room. There are 4 enemies on the downstairs. We will throw the hatchet that we got on that board or ones that we have previous onto that guy. That will kill him. Then we'll go up and sneak behind the one to the left. We will do the same with the next 2 enemies. As seen here, they are facing away from you. That is the case most of the time. Sometimes one is facing you and the other is not. If that is the case, throw a hatchet at the one that's facing you and then quickly run up behind the other and melee them before they notice. From now on, in this section here, we don't really care if the alarm goes off. There isn't a commander, but if the enemies are alerted, we just stay here and it's linear enough for us to just shoot them down. There are 2 or 3 up the stairs. There's also another hatchet here, and we can just shoot this pole, and we are up.
William, I found the engineering map.
Stumble around a bit, and we will enter the first combat section, or stealth section, in this mission that has commanders. You're just gonna ignore them.
Living in there ever since you captured the U-boat 5 months ago. They must be starving and desperate. Stay safe, darling.
We're gonna do the same thing here by throwing the hatchet at one of them, and then meleeing the other. That guy is weird. Take note that sometimes the hatchet just phases right through him. If that happens, just shoot both of them. And then we can just shoot through that vent there with the laser craft work. It doesn't matter because the moment you go in here, the alarm goes off and the guys in this room do not give a shit.
A few more weeks, baby. With your grace.
And you guessed it, we are going to do the same thing. Throw the hatchet, melee the guy. Throw the hatchet again. You can melee him, you can thread him, doesn't really matter. But what does matter
is that we do not drop into this room. If you drop into this room, you are fucked. Stay up here. You're not safe. You're not 100% safe. But this is more or less the safe spot. We're going to crouch and lean down, and there is no indicator that this combat section has ended, other than if the commander starts to walk towards you. Until then, we're going to hang about here and shoot anyone who gets near us. The three main spots where enemies generally linger around are the far turret, or right in front of me here under that light, and sometimes, very rarely, they will go into the room where the commander was, and they can actually sometimes get an angle on us there. Try to avoid that happening. Don't be tempted to jump down until that commander starts to run towards you, because eventually all the enemies will walk in your direction and you're able to easily shoot them before they can shoot you most of the time. I've never died here on a run, but I have been hit pretty bad, pretty often. But in the room that we're in, there is a fair bit of ammo, and there's an armor piece, and so that's all to ourselves. They cannot get into the room that I'm in now, so do bear that in mind. I'm going to let this whole section play on now for the sake of clarity and trust. Once you get the idea and you're satisfied, you can skip to this time in the video. Once that's done, visit Bombati.
Dawn, Blaskowitz. Come.
Visit Set's drone. When it gets to this position, kill Set's drone. Get the first weapon upgrade. We will be getting the integral suppressor. Then make Set happy for the first time in 60 years.
Well done, Ingolf. You fresh apple, you.
Visit Anya, visit Fergus, and visit Manhattan. Now that we have the integral suppressor and the machine and pistols, it means that we can shoot enemies in the stealth sections, like this one, without immediately setting off the alarm, although they aren't completely silent and they will sort of distract some enemies here and there. This section as a whole is very strange. That guy that I shoot there, and that I recommend you shoot as well, is usually always there, as is this guy. This next section, sometimes there's 3 enemies here, sometimes there's a commander here, sometimes there isn't. I've had it where there's been no one there. Either way, to kill everyone with these, if the alarm goes off, just sprint to the exit. You're fine, because once you reach here, they pretty much all despawn. And you saw I grabbed a weapon kit there as well. I will be going with the nail gun for the machine and pistols also. That will make the bullets very slow in velocity, but it will make them very, very powerful. We will crouch walk over here, shoot the one on the right in the head, and then proceed to just shoot up the one to the left. Sprint over here, stop sprinting, then sprint again and jump over there. If you miss that, you're fucked. Welcome to mein Leben. Now sprint down. It's rare that you won't get shot there, but keep sprinting because I supersaw that and drops behind you, and then jump into the tube station. Walk into this corner. There are 5 dogs here. They don't notice you at first. Once you start shooting them, they get suspicious and usually start running towards you. Under no circumstances do you ever try to run past these dogs. They will always catch up to you and they will always kill you. So just stay in this corner and be very, very ready, because they can run at you so fucking fast. This was one of my better attempts in this section. They pretty much never really noticed me, but I'm still counting the bodies. There should be 5 dead dogs. If there's not, you fucking make sure you kill all of them. Now there are 2 enemies in this next little section. There's this guy who's always facing away from us, and then there'll be another one just around the corner. Although sometimes he's not always there, and he's actually in this little section here. It doesn't really matter. He's not a threat, really. This guy is usually here also, but just like the previous Nazi, he can also change position. Sometimes he's over in this little area. Sometimes he's just not there at all. It's very, very strange. And the Cypro Sedan spawns here. If you're quick enough, you can run up behind him before he spawns. I just decided to camp here with the lasercraft work and just shoot him down from cover. He's not very difficult to deal with. There's a lot of room to move around there. Now there's another weapon kit. I will be going with the Sturmgewehr and the marksman rounds. The Sturmgewehr will now be our primary weapon of choice in combat sections. Once we get a couple upgrades on it, it is fucking unstoppable. Crouch walk into this building and do not forget there's a Nazi to your left.
Avenue, the state building should be near.
Now with this stealth section, in my latter attempts of mine Leben, I adopted a different strategy. Now, I still stealthily shoot this guy down, but I then just walk over here, jump vault over the edge, and you'll usually take a bit of damage, but by the time you've fallen down, they've all despawned, and you rarely take a lot of damage there. It just saves a bit of time as well. And so we will continue walking over here, and there's a guy to our left. In the previous section, I used to just camp by a wall and gun them all down, but it's the strategy that I used there is a lot safer than it might seem, actually.
Gonna test the old man's metal.
And the music in this section also plays constantly. I get the armor-piercing rounds there, so don't think that the alarm's been sounded just because of the music. Now, also take note of where the big boy is before you jump, because he can't see you if you're in view. Now, there's a commander and a dog that we wanna kill primarily. They are usually, if you're quick enough, around this section.
The radiation levels should be acceptable at the top of the building.
So there's the commander, and the dogs are fucking arseholes, so I'm gonna make sure to kill him as well.
Every second. A glory.
If the commander is not here, then he can usually be seen if you look to your left, where I just was there. There's a little opening with a doorway where you can lean through and you can see the commander there with his dog. But if you're quick enough, you can just kill him fairly quickly. And now you can see I'm just walking through the section and just using the submachine guns. It's really... I don't have a strict strategy here. The enemies are pretty poor in this section, and they sort of run around a bit and you can kill them before they can even shoot you. And there's plenty of cover around that I don't really need to show you a particular spot. Now with the big boy, spam him with those rifles that now have marksman scopes and armor piercing rounds. The strategy really with the big boy is to shoot his lobber arm, I guess you could call it, which is his left arm. Look at that fucking aim, Jesus Christ! Once his left arm is destroyed, he's essentially defenseless because his flamethrower arm cannot reach you. Jesus Christ, this is horrible. You get the idea though. You shoot off one arm and then he just sits there and he will drop plenty of armor for you. So you just alternate between those two spots and you're usually safe. Now there's one more enemy and it's a super statin that will spawn when we walk down that staircase. To easily kill him, jump up on that platform, that'll cause him to spawn, and then just shoot his tank, which I failed to do, but I still managed to kill him. That's how good that strategy is.
Just who the fuck are you, white boy?
Santa Claus.
There are two viable strategies that you can use for the penthouse section. The one I'm using here consists of me jumping and leaning behind these boxes. For the weapon upgrade that you get there, I go for the supercharge on the lasercraft work. This will be useful for later. So as you saw, I jumped over those boxes and now I lean in this spot here. And I just shoot the enemies as I see them. They can get quite confused and they don't know where they are. And they rarely gang up on you if you're quick enough to shoot. And they sort of filter in one at a time. There's also the second strategy that I would consider somewhat viable, and that is at the end of a small hallway below us, there's a little room that we can lean out of and shoot the enemies as we are doing here. The only problem there is that it just didn't work for me, and they tended to sort of bunch up on me and throw lots of grenades, which they don't do here. Also, if you get hit, there's a 50 armor right there. It's rare that you'll complete this without getting hit, but I've only died here once or twice when practicing, and I've never died here in a run. It's a very strong strategy. And once that music kicks up, you're pretty much safe. The helicopter will come and they'll just absolutely obliterate everything in the room, and from there on you can just gather health and ammo, and it's quite a mindless strategy, honestly. You lean and you shoot, and you have to be very, very attentive, but if you are, this should be no problem at all.
Right, everyone's safely evacuated off the roof. Jump in, Glasgow.
We can skip all of this return to Section F level. You likely already know about this. This is not a very hard level, but it just saves a bit of time and provides some variety, I suppose, and there's less risk involved with this overall.
Get inside, Caroline. You left a vacuum.
You can see I'm failing miserably there. I'm not going to say how many attempts this took. Too fucking many. But we vault over the wall there, because it's a sort of weird angle. And then we swim forward. Swim up. And then we swim forward again. We're going to go down a bit, where these pipes are. Take a hard left. And take another hard left again. Go up. And if you do a bit of fiddling around with the movements, you should be able to grab that lever there. And then sprint out. These enemies will spawn in, but we can be quick enough to the point where we just grab the warhead and we're out. And so now we're on to Roswell. There's little really to say about this particular mission. Just note that it's possible if you look at some Nazis directly, they'll recognize you and they'll just shoot you and you die. So just don't fuck about. Go straight to the diner and sit down.
Papa Joe's All-American Diner. My kind of dive.
One more thing though, you can actually melee this handsome chap when he asks you for your papers. There's no prompt for it, but you just press melee and you wing him in the head with a nuke, so that's just saves so much fucking time. From here on out until the courthouse is the hardest section for this game, both in general and on Mein Leben. This whole section is where 50% of your deaths will lie, if not more.
Caroline, you still copy? You think they can see?
This actual rocket train level is not too bad, but once we get to Oberkommando and house section and the courthouse, it's fucking messy. But for now, we're gonna slowly crouch walk behind this Nazi, and of course we do a stealth takedown on him. Keep crouch walked and walk down here, and then we're gonna do a big jump down right on top of a weapon kit. You can save this for when you get the shotguns later. I go for the hand grenade electromagnetic upgrade. We will need that for very, very later on. Those who know will know. That's important. So it's good to get that one out of the way. And you can see I'm just sticking to the edge and crouch walking down. You can kill that Nazi to your left. You don't have to though. But if you do, it's not really going to raise any alarms, so that's up to you. And now in this next room is the commander himself and his dog. It doesn't really matter what order you shoot them in, but their positions are fairly hazy. I just hatchet the commander, shoot the dog. That's completely up to you. So we pull the lever, and now we're going to walk over to this railings. This is a very common strategy. Jump on top, jump onto the train, and as quickly as we can, drop down, and then get the train going.
Alright, we're on the move. Gotta head up front and grab the controls.
And now we have our shotguns. We're going to crouch walk forward, and there will be a Nazi that will walk right in front of us. He won't see you. Don't attack him. Mind you, if you do attack him, he just sort of doesn't really seem to care. But anyway, we're just going to ignore him, and we're going to stick to the left here and just crouch walk forward. We're killing no one here, but when we turn the corner at the end, sometimes there is a Nazi to our right that we're going to be ready for. He wasn't there on this run, but sometimes he's there. I climb up the ladder. This is what I do. Most people go down, but I think going up the ladder is so much better. It's so much faster. We can just crouch walk on top of here. We get to drop down and quickly take out this robot. And we don't worry about the Nazis that are above us. We just keep crouch walking forward. Of course, take this one out as well. Now, we are not going to enter this next carriage. We are going to, again, climb up. So I jump up onto this ladder here, and I keep crouch walked on top, and we are just skipping this whole section. I'm so glad I decided to test those ladders. I wasn't sure if you could actually use them or not, but you can, and they're very, very useful. And it's the same thing again. We're just going to walk on top of here, keep crouch walked, jump down, and there's a super sedan. And bear in mind that they gave each super sedan an insane line of sight, so we're going to be very careful. I just wait for him to move forward. We're not going to jump for the ladder just yet. We're instead going to wait for him to turn. See, I'm moving into this spot here. I'm going to wait for him to turn again. Now that he's turned, we wait a bit and then we jump up onto the ladder again. Keep crouch walked and then continue to walk forward. The train level is almost done now, and I am going to switch to my shotguns, and we're going to use the shotguns for the first time. We can still jump slam into the ground. We do that here, jump down, and then be very, very quick to shotgun these guys, and then we run to the exit. We are now safe, but make sure to slow down the train. If you go into Supermax, You are fucked. I'm not helping you. So now we're on to Oberkommando, which is one of the most bullshit levels in the whole game. You can see the commander is 200 meters away from us, and that alarm can go off so easily. You're gonna want to do exactly what I'm doing here. I crouched behind him, did a melee. I did the same thing with this guy. There can be another Nazi to our right, but if we kill him, the alarm goes off. I like to just wait a bit and then go out, and you're usually good. And I stick around the edge and just slowly crouch walk. And then when you reach this pipe, we're going to want to jump on top of that and then jump on top of the valve there. Now, stay very still here. If you fall down there, you die. But also, if you jump onto that pipe, you're also fucked because it's too low down for you to jump up onto the railing. So you're fucked if you go in that pipe. Once the gears stop, vault over. You have two options here. I tend to keep crouch walked. I pull the switch, and then I continue being crouch walked, and I sit by this cover here. There is a super Sedatin with us now, and this has a 60%, maybe 70% success rate, and that's because it all depends on the super Sedatin and whether or not he sees you. The other option you have is just falling on top of the lever, jumping up and just running up by yourself without turning on the elevator. Obviously, the issue there is you can just jump off and die. They can also see you as you're running up and shoot you and kill you. But either way, if you make it to the top, I would recommend you try both yourself and figure out what one's best for you. But either way, once you reach the top, pull out dual shotguns, and then make sure you're not in the way of that super stand because he can charge in front of you, and then run up here blasting your shotguns as you go around the corners because there's Nazis in your way. When you get into this room, they all despawn, and you're on to the next section. There's a free commander kill right in front of you. This part is also actually fairly easy going. It's not too difficult. Obviously, it's still mein Leben, so don't just fuck about. But it's a section where you can just sort of relax a little.
They won't find it, they won't disarm it.
The next enemy, we're gonna make sure he's not standing in front of an explosive, and then just gun him down. And just follow where I'm going. Of course, I'm sticking to the edge of the room. We're gonna kill a robot next, and then a commander and his dog, and then we're gonna shoot two soldiers that are just standing around, and then there's another robot, and then we're done with this section, at least the stealth part of this section. So we go behind the robot, melee him. I just fucking hatchet the commander. Don't do that. That's stupid. This isn't a mind leap. This is just death incarnate. But like, don't do that. Just shoot them both, and you'll be fine. And now there's two more that are just sort of standing around here. I think I fucked this up a bit actually. Because yeah, don't throw a grenade either. That was stupid. I never do that. Just gun them down really. Don't get too close to them because they can see you. Just stay back, gun them down, and then either way, the robot usually gets a bit suspicious and starts running about. But he's rarely too much of a threat. The room's so open that you can kill him before he gets close to you. And then when you're done, you can collect your ammo, health, armor, and then plant the nuke. Once the cutscene ends, stay still. Charge up your gun. That door does not move until you do. So move forward with your charged lasercraft work. Wing him in the eye with that, then shoot him again. That usually kills him. If it doesn't, still run where I'm going now. We're going back to the room that is at the beginning of this encounter, and will be our safe spot for now. There is no indicator when this section ends either. And so now, I aim through this window, also paying attention to the Nazis that follow you in here. But if you land out the window, you can shoot them as they're going up the staircase. And if that big robot's still there, shoot him through the window, and then run back, and then shoot him again, run back. It's a very big room, and when you think you've killed most of them, you probably haven't. But once they stop running towards you and stop showing themselves, then you move forward a little bit. As you can see in a bit, I move towards that outside railing, because there's still a handful left. And in Mein Leben, it only takes one to absolutely fucking leather you. And if you've tried Mein Leben at least once, you know that the hard way, so you know to take this seriously. Don't run about like an idiot like I am. I'm just being fucking stupid here. Like, don't do this. Like I say, I'm on death incarnate, and this is so I get cocky. All right, just take it slow, and slowly advance forward. And then you want to be absolutely certain you kill them all, because it takes BG fucking years to open that door, and if they're not all dead, then they can easily gun you down as you're opening that.
Keep running, Nazis.
All that's left is robots now. So there is the super soldat in this room we can kill by charging up our laser craft fork and just shooting him there. And then these robots will awaken, and we can lean by this doorway and shoot them. There's 2 of them in this room. He usually doesn't take too long. I'm not sure what happened there. If you just wait and start firing your gun to lure him towards you, I'm sure he'll arrive eventually. There's another robot as you walk out. He jumps on the wall, just shoot him. And then the same thing with his super soldat in here. Lean out, shoot, lean out, shoot. He's dead. They go down very easily now with our upgraded Sturmgewehrs. And now we're back in the house level. There's an upgrade kit in the basement. I go with the shock hammer, and I go with the rotor extension, which is very useful for later. It basically allows you to fire 3 shotgun shots at once. When this encounter starts, I don't shoot the enemies, I just run and go under this cover. You're safe once you go under here. The next enemies, I try and sprint slide, which is successful here. If you are unable to slide there, you shoot them. But if you can slide, go straight for the panel, because once you start attacking the panel, you're invincible. There's an enemy right down here. There are 5 of these robots in total. That is the first down, and then I stick to this cover here, and the last 4 will more often than not come from the left up there, but do take note that they still can approach from the right. It's just very rare. And so now all that's left is a shotgun super soldaten, and the way I deal with him is I go back up top once I've killed all the robots. There's a lot of angles that you can choose here where he can't really shoot you, but you can shoot him. Melee the panel, and that's this level done with.
Theft and destruction of public and private.
I swear to God, this shit gives me PTSD. Oh, good luck.
Terrorism, including nuclear, both domestic and abroad.
Alright, there are 3 ways of tackling the courthouse encounter. All are viable, but it's still a very difficult encounter, and I'd recommend that you test with all of these as well as experiment on your own. The first strategy, and most common, consists of you standing by the box to the left after collecting 1 or 2 submachine guns off the first 2 enemies that you knock out. by default, and you essentially just stick by the box that has the ammo crate on top of it. So you've got infinite ammo, and the spot is relatively safe, but there's still lots of grenades, and once the super statins come in, you've only got submachine guns, and it's just not... This is the one that I used practicing, and using this strategy, I never got past the courthouse. I've never successfully used this strategy on a Mein Leben run, but I know that most people do use this one. The second strategy is the mega Chad way of just staying in the back section and just running and sliding back and forth, gunning them down. This one wasn't successful for me. I never tried it in a run. You are fucking mental if you choose to do this one, and you have my respect. The third way is the one that I used, and it is the slowest, but we've gotten this far, so who cares? It's the most consistent, and this is the strategy that got me past this encounter on Mein Leben runs 3 times, and I've only ever gone past this encounter on Mein Leben 3 times. This is the one I'd recommend, but I'd still encourage you to try fucking everything with this godforsaken encounter from hell. So once the encounter starts, we're gonna run to this cover here, pick up the big turret, pick up the grenades as well, and you may as well collect the health. And this is what it consists of. We wait here. I wouldn't recommend you press the full auto on the gun. Just sit there, and then when one appears, conserve your bullets. Usually one's enough. If not, just shoot them again. The wood that you're also under can be destroyed, but that's rarely much of a problem. If anything, it helps you when the super statins come through and you can shoot them through the board if you can see them through. It's a very slow technique, but it works. Again, because this is the fucking courthouse in Wolfenstein 2 on a fucking Mein Leben run, this is the hardest encounter in the entire game, alright? I am gonna let this entire thing play, just for clarity and for reference, and again for trust, so I'm not fucking with you. So, the second part of this encounter commences at this time in the video, so go to there if you wish.
Weißt du, wo er hin ist? Nee, ich hab hier nichts.
Alright, once you kill both super sedans, the doors will open and part 2 will start. I think I made a mistake here. There's a dog that appears once part 2 starts. I just managed to turn on and shoot it there. Sometimes it grabs you, sometimes it can't. There's also a robot there. I think, and this is something you can try yourself, stay in the cover with the shotgun, then kill the dog, then run up. That might be safer. So now there are 3 robots for us to kill. I don't know exactly what causes the super stands to spawn, but I know that for a fact, if you kill the first 3 robots, they will definitely spawn in. Once the 3 super sedans die, you can exit this encounter. There can still be enemies left just as long as you kill those super sedans, alright? So I'm throwing the grenades now, and these 2 rooms, there's another one similar to this at the other side of the map, are your 2 safe spots. We now have our precious Sturmgewehrs. I miss these things. So now we're just sort of picking them off because we still want to kill them, but what we're aiming for is those robots when they appear. They sometimes take their time, sometimes they all just rush you at the start. Just stick to these rooms and you should be alright. So there's 2 out of 3. And then there's 3 out of 3. So now the 3 super sedans will spawn in. The way I deal with them is they usually walk up towards you with their backs facing you on the staircase. Like so. Shoot them in the back, pretty much an insta-kill. That's 1 out of 3. I also get lucky here, and this is something they commonly do. They sort of are aware where you are, but they're both right now directly below me because their AI gets a bit confused. So I grabbed a grenade, and this worked really well. I mean, it's still quite dangerous if you fall off or if a Nazi gets a sight on you, but just chuck a grenade down, and that actually did a lot of damage. It killed one and almost killed another. And this is how you also get to the other room. Go around this middle section, approach walk behind these barriers. You're usually safe, and you can get to that other room where there's more armor and such. There's the judge, who's somehow not dead. There's the other super statin. You can see I kill him. That's all 3 dead. The other one that we didn't see got killed by the grenade. And now we can exit, bearing in mind that there's still Nazis left, usually. So just quickly get out of there and don't linger around. And that is the worst encounter in the history of encounters done with. Hopefully. Probably not. You're probably dead and smashed your fucking console. I fucking hate this encounter. I never want to see it again. We're done. We're done with it, okay? So, hopefully you've gotten past the courthouse, and if you do, make sure to get the battle walkers. They are your best option out of the 3. There's also a weapon upgrade kit here. I will be going for the extended magazine on the shock hammers. So now we're going to make our way back up and stock up on guns, ammo, everything really. And something interesting to save a little bit of time is when Sigrun appears there, you can actually activate the cutscene with Anya, and then she just despawns, meaning you don't have to really bother with her. This is just outside Club Kreisau. If you get the Battle Walkers, you will get this little side quest. Follow the path I'm going here, and these traps can kill you, but if you follow the path I'm going on, you should be fine. Essentially, we're going to go for all the surfaces that are painted yellow. Don't do that, I got a bit confused.
Don't you realize I needed it myself?
So we turn off the traps, and then we punch Stubbins, and that will net us an upgrade, which will mean that overcharged health will not go down, provided we don't get damaged. Also with the Battle Walkers, if we damage enemies, or if we kill enemies, sorry, we gain a bit of health, and that goes into overcharge. So if our overcharged health is going down because we got hit, if we then kill an enemy, it goes up and stays up, which you'll see in a bit. So now we're on to Manhattan Part 2. And this first little area, there's 3 or 4 enemies, I think 4 enemies. And you can see I'm just using the machine and pistols now. That's 3, yes, and then there's a 4th down here. Very, very simple area.
You know, kill you.
And now we're going to stock up on health. Jump down, shoot the dogs before the commander, preferably. There's a lot of dogs in this area, and dogs are so fucking annoying. I hatchet him just out of tradition. You don't really have to, I guess. It's just something I always do. We're going to make sure to keep stocking up on health. There's plenty of it, so we're going to use it. I also hatchet him. You can shoot him or melee him. It's up to you, as long as it's stealthily. And there's another dog I think I forgot about around this area. I think he's to my left there. He's usually sleeping where I am here, roughly. And I sort of forgot about him. It's been a while, alright? Cut me some slack. And there he is. So just keep an eye out for him. I think there's another dog left. I may be wrong though. From here, usually they've gone suspicious and they're actually looking for me, but this was very successful and they're still down there. You want to stay where I am if they see you and just gun them down as they run towards you. But I got lucky and I could just stay up here and shoot them down. There's no commander here, provided you do kill the commander at the start. So you're good for reinforcements. It's rarely a problem. Same goes with this area as well. There's just one commander, and we're gonna use our battle walkers to get up here, and we'll immediately get a line of sight on the commander, which we'll use our machine pistols to kill. That will distract the enemy next to him, along with the one closer to us there. Kill him. There's a robot over there, which we can shoot. Sometimes he gets a little suspicious. Doesn't matter, we're gonna kill him either way. This guy is usually around here, but I've had him in all sorts of places, so keep an eye out for him. And then when you kill him, you're done with that. And now you can see my overcharged health is not going down until we get hit, which is very, very useful. And we're gonna lean out that window and just gun them both down in the same burst. There's now a robot coming up, which we will melee. I would not recommend shooting him because there's explosive right next to him. So I just go up. There's no prompt for it, but he will insta-kill him with a melee there. And you will hear these two Nazis talking from the dead. That's normal. Just ignore it.
I don't think the game really wanted us to kill them from up top, but anything from Mein Leben, man.
Wenn Onkel Erhard zu meinem sitzen hatte,
Weird ass game.
sie den da führte mir und meine gesamte Mann auf. Heidenspaß. Das Oberkommando.
The commander in this area also, along with the other Nazis, there's another 2 Nazis left, 2 or 3, and their positions, they can be all over the bit. Usually he's where I'm aiming there, the commander is, and he's walking along and you can just pick him off. And then the 2 other Nazis sort of follow behind him, roughly around the area, but I've had him in all sorts of places. It's a very, very strange area. And I do have a bit of difficulty here trying to locate the leftover Nazi. There's a super sedan here also. His location is also pretty hazy. A very strange section this. And there's lots of explosives around. And there's 2 locks on the door. We're going to make sure to open that door fully only when we're sure everyone else is dead, which I don't do here because I'm a fucking idiot. And this was just a very weird situation. I just couldn't find them. So I just, I think I end up just unlocking the door anyway, and then they appear, because of course they fucking do. There's a super sedan there. Yeah, I just opened the door anyway, because I'm a fucking idiot. Don't do that. Make sure to kill him and the remaining Nazi before opening that door, because another super sedan comes through. And now I'm quite wary of the explosives that are near me, so I'm trying to stick to a spot where I can't be killed. There's that Nazi. I don't know where he was. I did not see him. He just came out of nowhere. There's this super sedan up here. And that is this level done. A very poor display, but that's how you do it nonetheless, I guess. Panzerhunds are next. If you have the battery upgrade on your lasercraft work, you can kill them both with 1 mag. Two supercharged shots will be enough to kill them. Very slow. They're not the same as they are in the New Order. These guys are very easy to kill now in comparison. And so we're just going to do that twice in a row, because there's 2 Panzerhunds. When they're dead, I'd recommend you charge your lasercraft work back up, just to be safe. And then we can continue on to the next area. You've likely already learned the hard way that you have to crouch walk around here, or the alarm will go off. I'm just going to remind you again, crouch walk around here, or the alarm will go off. There are 2 enemies in the room that we're in now, and all the rest are in the inner room. There's a shotgun guy around here who, I swear to God, has the best vision in any game ever. So try and kill this guy quickly, and then as quick as you can, stealthily, kill that shotgun guy as well, you can see him, he's just searching the body. If he took another step, you'd probably see it, and the whole alarm would go off, and the whole thing would be fucked. So don't get too close to that shotgun guy. Keep your distance, kill the first one, then as quick as you can, stealthily circle around and kill the shotgun guy. As you can see, I put the silencers on my pistols. Upgrades aren't very important right now. Also be wary, the commander can be where I am standing now. That's why I was wary going around the corner. Shoot the guy down there. That will distract the commander downstairs usually. I think I have to continue shooting just to keep distracting him.
One of these commanders also has a camp pistol, which are one-shots. I think it's the bottom floor one, but be very wary of that. So I killed the first commander. If the alarm goes off here, also take note that a dog just appears out of nowhere. So now we're going to stock up. And we're going to get the New Orleans dossier. And there were 4 enemies that appear. We're going to stay up here with their Sturmgewehrs equipped and spam the hell out of them. Just don't let them get past that door. Once you're sure they're dead, walk forward. And we're almost out of Manhattan.
I'm ready to pick you up. Just get to higher ground and signal your location.
Now, there are 2 ways of doing this encounter. We can stay under here, and we can wait for all the robots to spawn, and then at the end we gun them down with our shotguns by staying under here. This is what I did most of the time, but since Mein Leben I found a new strategy which also works very, very well, if not better. And that's just shooting them as they appear one by one. I'm not sure if their locations are randomized or not, but you can just see where they land and then just shoot them with your rotor shotguns as they appear. They can't even get up before you kill them, so this works really well. But if all goes wrong, then just find that hidey hole and then wait until they've all spawned in and then lean out of cover and just blast them all. But this one seems to work super well, so I'd recommend you try this one too. And of course, be ready to shoot immediately as the cutscene ends. There's also one up there, and make sure that your laser craft work is fully charged up. So now we're on to New Orleans. This whole mission is, if you practice it enough, it's okay. It's very much doable, but there are a lot of little areas here and there which are very dangerous. You want to pay a lot of attention during this whole level.
There's an overabundance of Nazis. Hope you have better luck finding survivors.
When we walk in here, there's a guy to our right. We're going to ignore him. Vault up, jump onto this, keep crouch walked, and there's a super statin right in front of us here. This will be the only enemy we kill. You can actually hatchet their fuel tanks, set that off, then continue to gun them down because that rarely finishes them off. And then we run to the exit. Whether or not the alarm goes off is of no consequence to us because the moment we get to this door, they'll despawn anyway.
Blazkowicz, head for the old American Bank building. That's where Horton and his...
And now we have our charged up laser craft work, which we hopefully charged up in Evas Hammer or in Manhattan after the Panzerhund encounter. And then we're going to do the same thing by killing that Panzerhund. We can also circle back because all the enemies despawned and we can get a weapon kit. I go for the Magnum on the pistol. Then we jump off to the right. This next encounter has no indicator when it ends, but I think the body count should be roughly 14 or 15. I stay in this room and lean out of that staircase. They rarely shoot back at you, but don't let them get too close. Just continue to keep on shooting, and shooting with the Sturmgewehrs. Be very patient, and once it goes quiet, slowly make your way forward, because as I say, there's no indicator that this encounter is over. But once you're done with that, same thing here. No indicator when this encounter is over, but we're going to hang back. I should get quite lucky and I pick a lot of them off by just staying here. But this is not a very safe spot to be in. But I actually end up just killing all of them. I think there's roughly 7 or 8 in this section. But generally I stay behind this counter and they run towards us. Sometimes they run past the door and shoot at me through the window. Once that's done, go into the next encounter. Again, no indicator when this one ends either. But we're going to hang back in this boss and just shoot them all as quickly as we can because they will return fire. But if we kill them quick enough, this part is not too much of an issue. and also you can shoot their fuel tanks to get armor. Just a quick reminder there. This was one of my poorer attempts at this section.
I got a shortcut through this building.
So now we blast the door in. Charge our lasercraft work back up, and there's another weapon kit in here. At this point, yeah, there's just really no need for them, but, you know, take them. I'm not sure what I go with here. It doesn't really matter. There are many techniques I've seen for this section. The best one I found was one that I found myself. So we go to the left, not the right. We gun down that commander and his dog. There is now a troop and a commander left that we are going to kill stealthily. The troop is usually around this room. His location is fairly hazy, but generally he's sort of walking down that staircase. And the commander is sometimes in this room, he's sometimes on the balcony outside. He's around this area. So we're going to aim to kill him. If the alarm goes off and you can't kill him, go to this spot anyway. We are going to intentionally set off the alarm, hopefully without a commander in the building left, and then we're going to kill the Nazis that run towards us as we can. It's important that you stick to the left of this wall. If you stick to the right, they can actually get an angle on you from cover. But from this position, they can't hit you at all if you lean back into cover. Whereas if you're on the right hand side, you can lean back into cover and they can still get a line of sight on you. They rarely shoot me here as much as they did. This encounter also, I think the music sort of dies down when they all die. But if the alarm is on or off, go to this spot. It's a really, really good spot. And once that's done, we can save a bit of time by jumping on this railing and then sprint jumping across. And now we're going to charge up our lasercraft work after vaulting down here. And we're going to walk outside and quickly neutralize that super sedan as he jumps down. Equip dual stormcovers. And again, hang by cover, left hand side preferably, and shoot them as they walk in front of you. The music here is also the same as the last encounter and will die down when all the enemies are dead. This encounter can be skipped by quickly running to the right and using the battle walkers and vaulting over this wall. It's a bit fiddly, but it does work. I have never even been hit in this area before. You don't have to fight this at all. Just run past, you are fine. And this is the last encounter of New Orleans in daylight. We can pick a few enemies off by leaning down and just sort of shooting at their feet. Sometimes I've killed 4 or 5 here, sometimes I've killed none. It's very inconsistent, but it's worth doing. And so I drop down, being very wary. This is sort of our safe spot down in this pit. They rarely walk down underground, and they're not even that focused on you. Either way, you can make your way outside, and the 2 super sedans will spawn, and once you kill them, this encounter ends. The way to deal with them is just how you'd expect. Just spam them with the Sturmgewehrs, lasercraft work. We've got lots of options now. There's also a lot of area to move around here. And now we're on to the Panzerhund mission, in which I immediately get off the Panzerhund. This was one I had a lot of difficulty with. It was very inconsistent. The strategy I found that worked for me was one that I just did experimenting by myself. I just get off and stealth my way through because the Panzerhund has such little health. It's just, it's not worth it. At least not for now. Okay, so I picked that guy off there. Really just follow my path. Once these enemies despawn, we go back and get the Panzerhund again. For now, just stick to where I'm going here. That's enemy number 3. We're not too worried about the commander. As I say, they despawn once we leave the area. There's a super sedan walking to us, and he stops as he gets to around that signpost there. And so now we're going to walk behind him. We're not too fussed in killing him. It doesn't really matter. And as we get into this last street, it's very common for the alarm to go off. Once it does, or once someone sees you, just sprint to the end. We're not trying to fully stealth this, we're just trying to get as far as we can with stealth. And then the moment someone spots us, just run. I decided to start shooting the super sedan and then I sprint to the end. And as you can see, the enemies despawn. And so now I run back, get back on this Panzerhund, make my way back here with full health now. But my health still goes down very quickly. I think I'm just very bad with the Panzerhund. You can see, like, gee, look at that. Look, fucking hell. I don't trust it. I stick around this exit and I try and shoot them as they go out, but they're usually fairly hesitant. Try and snipe them with the Panzerhund back there. I'm already in 300 health. It's really just a way of getting some free kills before we get off it and just continue on as normal. It's fun on easier difficulties, but on my Leben, this thing's fucking borderline useless. This is the main strat I remember doing, is sitting by this door and just spraying. They're usually pretty stupid and just walk out in front of it and die. See, I'm getting a bit bored here. You can see as I enter, I immediately look to my left. There's usually a guy there, so it's worth just quickly looking to your left to kill him. And now it's just a last stand with the Panzerhund. I'm just going and killing as many as I can before this thing dies. And as we get to this area, this is as far as we go. We're not too fussed about going all the way down. We're just going to make sure that we kill all the enemies in this area. So now we get off the Panzerhund and make our way to the little shortcut, which is by these pallets. There's some ammo for their Sturmgewehr, and then we're going to vault the window. They can see you as you vault this window, and it's worth going on your battle walkers to get up the ladder that's right next to us. I kind of forget. It just gives you a little head start going up ladders. Run along here. There's also usually a guy up here, a marksman Nazi, and he just wasn't there. This is the first time he hasn't been there, so make sure to preferably stealthily kill him. I shoot that guy down there. I don't really usually do that. But now we're going to make our way into this little underground pass. There's some health over here. So now we're almost at full. It's just the armor we've got to worry about. Good thing there's 100 armor right here. And we're going to stick our head out of... What the fuck are you doing? We're going to stick our head out of this pipe and shoot the enemies from this location. Once they start running towards you, we go to the other spot and shoot them from there. That's the idea. Do not go into the next section. It's very tempting, but the enemies in this section do not despawn, and there's a commander in the next section. And if the enemies in this section walk into the next section and start shooting at us, the alarm will go off, and it gets very bad, because there's a big boy in the next section who we don't want to deal with. So make sure to kill all the enemies before spawning in the enemies of the next section in. And I think around here, I killed them all, which was a lot quicker than usual. So once all the enemies are dead, we enter the next section. There is a Nazi that walks around that corner who we quickly deal with a hatchet or by shooting him. And now there is also one more along here, who again, we shoot. Don't do... What the fuck are you doing? Just shoot him. Honestly, just shoot. Don't look at this. Trust me, I know what I'm doing, but some of this gameplay is fucking trash. Like, what the... I wouldn't do this stuff on a Mein Leben run. It's honestly just because this is Undeath Incarnate. There's just another commander to deal with now, so we just continue sticking around this wall, shoot him, and then we sprint to the exit. We don't have to deal with any other enemies in that section. There were 4 more enemies left. There are 3 more enemies left, all of which are in this sort of underground building. I don't try and stealthily kill them because it rarely works. At least if you're using the Sturmgewehr, that guy up there is guaranteed to die. I also get some lucky grenade kills, but I usually just use the battle walkers and hang by that ladder to kill the last 2 guys. So now we're on the last part of New Orleans, and this big boy has insane vision. So if you don't want to peek out, in case he sees you and obliterates you, count 15 steps, and then it's safe to run and jump down. We're not really going to deal with him. There's just one more Nazi, who we quickly gun down. The big boy will then get quite angry, but it doesn't matter because we are out.
Let's go. Bogged down by Nazis here.
This is one of the hardest parts of the game. We're going to stick in this room, which is not completely safe. There's a weapon kit, we're not going to bother with that now. And we're going to hang in this room here. They can shoot you from down below, or they will charge up close to you and shoot you from the window, or they'll shoot you from the door. Just be ready. I don't know what the body count is here, but just stay here until it's very quiet. There are also 2 super soldats, but we don't worry about them right now because they cannot shoot us when we're in this spot.
Haul ass.
You can see how annoying these enemies can be here. I did a lot of experimenting with this area, but for this first part, one of the strategies, which was actually very smart but didn't work for me, is just fucking running past this area. I'd recommend you sort of try that as well. It just didn't work very well for me. So now I'm just focusing on the super sedans, but I'm sure the regular Nazis are not all dead. There's usually more than just those there. So once you've killed the super sedans, usually there's no more Nazis left, but still be kind of wary. There's one immediately in this section. Don't walk into the building. Instead, go onto this ledge here, use your battle walkers, and we can get an easy shot on the commander. Not that it's of much benefit to us, but, you know, it's an easy kill. And if you're lucky, you'll also get another few kills here. It's not consistent, but they are sort of easy kills that we can get. And if they start to hit you very badly, we can just deactivate the battle walkers and retreat. Once you're done there, you can go into this room, fire a shot which will distract them and force some to start running down here. However, I don't think I killed any down here. That might be to do with how many I killed upstairs, but usually a handful do walk down there, and they're fairly easy kills. Once it's quiet, we can run into the building, and there's still a fair handful left. So what I like to do is, and I actually get jump scared by Nazi pretty badly here, and I lose a bit of health. But what I like to do when I get into this position is get any grenades or camp pistol shots and just fire them up here for a few easy kills. There is also the weapon upgrade kit we got earlier, which we can use to get the ricochet shots on the shotgun, which are actually very important. We're going to want them for later, so do make sure to get them. That was actually an upgrade I forgot about. Either way, have a shotgun equipped, because when that dog appears, he is fast. You can see him getting the ricochet shots. That dog is fucking fast. You'll see how quick he is here when we're walking up the stairs. So it's good to have a shotgun equipped to just insta-kill him. Look at that. Gee, fucking hell. Shotguns are good, man. Shotguns are good. If we didn't have that shotgun, he would have mauled me to near death. We would not have killed him quick enough. We can skip the remaining enemies by going to this spot on the wall, using our battle walkers, going up. Use our battle walkers again, go up, and then we can just exit the level. So if you fuck up this part, it is a complete insta-kill from Hitler. So just remember, Nazi whore, rape and murder, and dirty race. Alright, so this is one of the hardest encounters in the entire game. We're going to want to do this entire part stealthily, and if the alarm goes off, you're fucked. Now the problem is that the alarm here is very sensitive, and the encounter overall is very inconsistent and finicky, but I've refined as much as I can. So you stealthily kill the first guy as you walk out the room, and be cautious walking up here because sometimes one of these guys can be facing you. And as quickly as you can, take them both out with either the integral suppressor on the machine-gun pistol or the silence pistols if you have them. Do not lure this commander out with a silence shot because he will walk out, you'll shoot him, he'll stun, the door will close again and the alarm will go off. Walk up right next to him and just blast him in the face to make sure he's dead. This part is very awkward. We are going to have to stealthily kill a super sedan, and it's, yeah. So first things first, you have to throwing hatchet that guy. You're going to have to aim for his leg, because if you hit him in the back, it will not insta-kill him, and the alarm might go off. Now we aim for a headshot with the machining pistol on the guy that's sitting down, and then blast the other guy. The super statin will then get distracted, walk towards them. Before he reaches them, shoot him in the leg with the machining pistols. The pistols will not work there. You have to shoot him in the leg with the silenced machining pistols. The alarm will likely not go off, and you may as well grab that hatchet there. Now there's another super sedan that we won't kill, but we're going to have to hide from. He will walk from right to left. Now there's a commander, a dog, and then a shotgun guy that will walk in afterwards. So we kill the dog, aim up, the commander's usually around there, and then the shotgun guy will walk in. I knew this, but I still was too slow with him, and he managed to shoot me. But don't let that happen. Collect armor after you kill him, but luckily it didn't really do much. I usually throw hatchet this guy successfully, but I managed to miss the first time. Either way, just stealthily take him out. We're pretty much in the clear now. It also doesn't matter what room you take here. I just go to the left out of habit. These guys are obviously very weak, but if they notice you, there are 2 robots that will spawn at the end of these rooms. So if they do notice you, immediately switch to your Sturmgewehrs or shotguns, and then run to the exit. They will be in front of you here and just blast their way through. There are now 2 more guys in front of you. Obviously, I was still stealthy here, so I can easily take them out. I got a little boost from a robot there, that was weird. And the hatchet just phases right fucking through him. Oh, I love this game. Now, we're outside.
Commando, steal the Odin codes for General Angle's ship.
Run straight up to this cooling panel, and we're going to wait here for the big boy to turn around. Once he has fully turned around, we are going to then walk behind him. Now, there is a stealth section in the next room, but if this big robot notices us, it's not gonna set off the alarm in the next room. And you'll see that in a bit. It's very strange, but I'm not complaining. So we don't shoot him, we just go right behind him.
Damn, I'm burning up.
Open the door, and we're out of the way. And he will start attacking at us, but the guys in here just do not care. Preferably, you're going to have your pistols equipped here. You shoot that guy in the head and then shoot the other. That was not successful. And the commander in this room has to be the worst fucking commander ever, because that was very sloppy. The big boy's shooting at us from outside. He just doesn't care. Again, not complaining. There's just the commander left. Once he's dead, you're pretty much in the clear. And then you shoot him and go up the ladder. There's also another weapon kit down here. It's really up to you. Just make sure you have that hand grenade with the electromagnetic upgrade on it. With the machine and pistols, shoot the robot to the left, shoot the robot to the right. There are now 2 drones and a laser super sedan left. So now we're going to equip our Sturmgewehrs. There's also a robot above us. We don't really have to worry about him right now though. It's only a couple of shots to take out the drones. And the super sedan is not too annoying from long distances. We have the advantage there. So now we can walk out and aim up, and we should be able to see that robot. Alternatively, you can walk up as usual, and he will usually show his face around here. So now we're into quite a weird stealth section in which the alarm is likely to go off, and that's fine. You'll see in a bit. So as usual, stay crouch walked with machine and pistols. And there is one gentleman up here I believe we shoot. Never mind.
Damn, I'm burning up.
I miss, because I fucking suck at this game. Still. And you can see in a bit, I'm just going to immediately run to the exit. This is where we're introduced to the robot dogs. As that hatch opens for him to run out, you can slide under it and get an easy entrance in. If the alarm goes off at any point during that encounter, do the same thing. Maybe even equip a shotgun or Sturmgewehrs. It's honestly the best strategy I found for that encounter. So now we can skip a fair chunk of the game by going in that door there. And you kind of have to fiddle about with that door there and walk in front of it, back and in front of it again for it to open. It's weird. So we jump on top of this railing, jump on top of this thing, battle walkers, jump on top of this thing, battle walkers, jump on top of this thing, battle walkers, jump on top of this thing, and we just skipped not a huge section, but a fair chunk of Venus. That will take a bit of practicing, and it is a bit fiddly and weird, but it does work if you practice it enough. Silently take these guys out. I use the pistols here out of habit. It doesn't really matter. That will usually distract the robot dog. We can spam the Sturmgewehrs. There are now 2 more guys left, which you can wait here and shoot them as they run towards you. And that is this little room done with. There are 3 scientists in this next room. As you can see, I'm just distracting them, shooting them, and then that's them dead. Pretty easy.
You might call this a howling hellscape. That view is prettier than a pie supper.
There's also a skip here by vaulting over this desk, which I don't do. It just skips a little hallway full of robots, which is good, but it's, yeah, I wouldn't say it's worth it. Also, you saw I looked at that gun there, the Oberkommando. Don't pick that up, it'll spawn a bunch of extra enemies. Do not pick it up, okay? It's not worth it. This is what that skip earlier will skip. Again, I don't do it. It's just too risky for what it's worth. So I take this robot out and then I shoot the robot at the other end. Then I take the one out closest to me with melee, and again, shoot the one closest to the end because they tend to get most alerted. Then hatchet the next, and then kill the next. That's that done with. So kill the one closest to you, shoot the one at the end, and then so on. I fucking hate this part. This is where we're going to get our ricochet shotguns. Make sure that you're fully frozen up. Do not sprint jump down, just drop down. Have a shotgun equipped, and have a Sturmgewehr equipped. There are first 2 guys here. We can lean round to the left and spam the next guy as quickly as we can to kill him. This last guy, honestly, he can be at the end where he is now. Sometimes he's to our left, and we shoot that wall with the shotgun, with the ricochet. That is our only hope if he is standing there. We ricochet off the wall. He can shoot you from where we are now, and we cannot shoot him, and he can just fucking end us there. It's horrible. It hasn't happened to me, but I know it happens. So now we're on to one of the last sections on Venus. Stealthily take that guy out. And then shoot this guy as well. He's pretty casual. If you do miss and shoot him in the shoulder and don't kill him, he just casually gets up. And we're going to hang back at this railing with cover for him to appear. We will then throw a hatchet at the guy at the far end there, or just shoot him, and then melee this guard. That should work if you do it quickly enough. There's a commander in the room to our right. You cannot miss him. He's playing that atrocious instrument, so just feel free to kill him. This guy sometimes isn't here, but if he is, kill him. Again, it's up to you. Machine pistols, hatchet, stealth takedown, or the pistols, it's completely up to you. Now we do the same thing here by shooting or throwing a hatchet to the guy furthest from us and then meleeing the one closest to us. If the alarm does go off, retreat back to the room with the commander playing that instrument. It is the best bet you've got, and then just shoot the enemies in that long hallway. There are a couple superstatins and one of the annoying robot dogs that appear if the alarm goes off. And now all that's left is this commander here. I shoot the massive bollock to kill him. It's up to you how you take him down. I'm not encouraging you to do that. You can kill him with as much or little style as you wish. This is the last part of Venus. There's a shotgun guy who we can quickly kill there. And then we can burst fire at the guys at the end, which will get rid of them very quickly as well. Keep the machine and pistols equipped. We're going to skip this entire last shootout by walking forward, jumping, vaulting over this, shooting the globe, immediately walking forward, down and in the vent. We are now safe and away from Venus. So now all that's left is to find Fergus's arm. And I would heavily encourage you to head to the Enigma machine and use the 4 codes that we've hopefully gotten this far and head to Eckstein in New Orleans. We are here for the ramshackles, and don't worry, this is incredibly easy. There's also a weapon upgrade kit we can get at the end here. And again, it's up to you what you get. I'm not going to encourage you, as long as you have everything that we have so far. There's the ramshackles, and then we can just leave. We don't have to finish it. And this is the real meat of getting the ramshackles, is the upgrade we can get with them. If you complete this very easy side quest, you will get this incredible upgrade where your armor will regenerate like your health to the nearest 25, and you can see it's doing it there. This is just an amazing upgrade we can get. It's very easy to get overall, and I would highly, highly recommend you get this for the last mission. So now we can give Fergus his arm back. When the last mission starts, don't turn around, just walk backwards. And then there's a little vent up here we can use the battle walkers to get to. There are 5 guys in the next room and a drone. I go for the drone first and then try and quickly kill one for a head start. And now we can hang in this vent. This vent is not entirely safe, but it will confuse them a bit for them to easily get picked off by you. They usually take a while, but they will always end up around here, especially if there are bodies for them to find. So now there's only 1 left, and Anya will start talking once you kill them all. So that's your indicator. Similar to what we did first time round, just hang by this cover and shoot them as you see them. There is a lot of enemies here, so feel free to retreat if you have to, but be very, very patient and only walk forward when you're sure they're all dead. And also don't stay up from cover for too long. It does not take long to kill you in Mein Leben, and it is strangely easy to forget that in moments like this. So now there's one enemy left, but if this guy manages to kill you, then I don't think Mein Leben's for you, honestly. So hopefully we should have 200 health and 100 armor by this point, and we can progress to this next tiny stealth section with 3 guys. Falling up here is usually gonna drag some attention, so I don't even bother stealthing them. They didn't even see me. If they don't see you, then stealthily take them out, but I'm so used to them just being alerted to me that I just gun them down. But it's a very easy little encounter for you to deal with. Don't get carried away with having the ramshackles, because that will set off the alarm if we take the ramshackle path. Go with the battle walkers and go up this hole in the ceiling. This is a very simple stealth section for us to deal with. The commander is immediately in sight, so we'll kill him first, then kill his dog, then we'll kill the guy down there, kill the guy to our right, and then kill the marksman bloke to our left. That's all the guys in this room. There is just a super sedan left. Nice grenade, Zach. Kill him how you please. Stock up, type in the code, and then we can use that grenade we just got to quickly dispatch of these 2 gentlemen. And now we're back here. This is just the same stealth section, but in reverse from the start of the game. Hatchet the guy in front of us. We will then kill the Nazi to our right. Preferably with this stealth takedown there. And then we're going to shoot the commander. That will distract the Nazi leaning over there. So we're going to quickly kill him right after killing the commander. And we're not going to aim to kill the next commander. We're instead going to just run to the exit. The Enigma codes do not really matter anymore. Don't try and kill this super sedan either, because he will explode, and then that will also set up the explosive next to him, which will likely catch you if you're going to run to the exit. Quickly shoot the commander, sprint slide, and then that super sedan can no longer get us. There's a lot of enemies left. I like to get the rotor shotguns, go up right behind them, and just blast them all as quickly as I can. But that is not the last enemy. There is a marksman guy left. He managed to get to the turret and shoot me from there. Nice moves, mate. What I used to do is go up in the ceiling, and then they would usually get confused, run around there, and he could pick them off one by one. That also works very well. Have the roar shotguns equipped. Blast him. Shoot the fan. Once it stops moving, jump over. There are 3 guys in this next stealth section. But it is very important that you do not set off the alarm before you get inside. If the alarm goes off, immediately run to the door. If that door closes, oh, you're fucked. Like, I'm not helping you, you're just fucked. Welcome to my Leben, mate. But if you pick them off in the order that I did there, you should be fine, and you can walk right on in. There is 2 guys and a commander left. I like to go for the commander first, and then just gun those guys down in any order you wish. Type in the code, chuck some grenades down, and then just blast them all like hell. Especially that Robo-Dog. Make sure to kill him, he is your priority. I fucking hate those things. If they get close to you, you're fucked. Walk forward, bait out these 2 robots, and then shoot them as they run towards you.
Lots of activity in this place. Get here as fast as you can.
Now, we are not gonna shoot any of the super sedans that will spawn here. We're instead just gonna run to this ladder, and now is a good time to remember that you can sprint up ladders. Sometimes I complete that section taking no damage, sometimes I take a lot of damage. I have never died climbing up that ladder though. It is a strong strategy.
I'm on my way, Anya.
We are going to make sure to kill these 2 super sedans before we jump down, because when we jump down there's a commander. This is a very strong strategy, which is one of Creeper's, I believe. Get a shotgun out, make sure it's not on rotor, and get a Sturmgewehr in the other hand, and just run straight to the exit, and then blast everyone as you see them. That will kill both of the commanders and that guy. We are not done with this section though. There is still a big boy left waiting for us. As long as we're in this room, he pretty much cannot attack us. His lower arm can't reach us, neither can his firearm, and he also just can't move. So we're going to quickly, to be safe, shoot off that lower arm. And then he just sits there like a numpty with that stupid little look in his face, waiting to die. He's pretty much a free source of armor now. But before progressing to the next section, I charge up a laser cover from one of the dead super sedans. And I shoot off all the cover that I can see in front of me that guards off the next section. I will then trigger these enemies to spawn, shoot the first Robo-Dog as he appears, because he's usually the first to run towards you. So it's good to kill him as quickly as you can. Now we're going to run below to the previous section, and we're going to hang back here. We're going to try and pick off any enemies that we can see in front of us. So I like to aim in the middle of the swastika and just look on the outer edge and see if we can see any movements. I don't think it was really successful here, but I've been able to pick off a fair handful of guys in this section, and this late on in the game, it's good practice to just try and safely kill as many as you can, because they rarely return fire here, and there is a lot of enemies in that section. That was just a Hail Mary. It was unsuccessful. So once you get sick of that, you can walk back up. There is another Robo-Dog, and we're not really going to worry about the commander here either. He actually gets killed by his own super sedan more often than not. You'll see in a bit. So we're hanging by this box and doing the typical thing of leaning out and shooting the Nazis before they can shoot us. This does work very well, but it is helpful to pick off a few by using that previous strategy. I get a bit cocky and move forward a bit too quickly here. You can see that commander's being killed. I think what happens is the super statin gets triggered and charges forward to get closer to you, but the commander's pretty much always in his path and he just kills the fucking commander. I'm not complaining. It's helpful to us, I suppose. So once that super statin is dead, it's usually the end of the encounter, and there's not many left after him. So we're going to walk up this way. And quickly run to that ladder. Now, to despawn the enemies in this section, we're going to walk here, walk into this elevator. Do not set that elevator off. Walk back. That will ensure that they all despawn. And so now, the checklist for the last encounter is full health, full ammo for shotguns and Sturmgewehrs, full armor, full everything really. Grenades also very important. Have grenades on you. Remember those electromagnetic grenades? We're gonna need them now. Also, I'm just showing here in the gameplay that you're not safe by hiding behind this big thing, because it's pretty much transparent and they can see right through it and it doesn't have any collision, as you can see here. It's just something worth knowing because they can shoot you through that and it seems bullshit and it is bullshit, but do not hide behind that thing. So now we're on to the last encounter in Wolfenstein 2. This is sadly very difficult and a hotspot for death in Mein Leben. Run to the left there, wait for those guys to jump down. Have your dual rotor shotguns ready and blast them as they jump down. Shotgun guys will appear. These are the two hardest ones to deal with, surprisingly. They usually take 2 bursts from the rotor shotguns. Take note on which one gets fired out first and aim for him first. You can also shoot them when they're in midair, but I'm not very good at that. So I wait for them to drop down. Blast them. Blast them. Now when they're dead, stay in the middle here. Wait a little bit. Run over to this corner. Preferably change your shotguns from the rotor mode. Then run forward, shoot the guy, throw the grenade off the wall, use your battle walkers, jump up the ladder, make sure you're not too far back, otherwise the battle walker won't engage. Then walk forward in this vent. You're usually roughly safe now. If you look out here and you cannot see anyone because they've all retreated inside, run up and you're done with Wolfenstein 2. However, that guy was left outside. I shot him and then this guy goes outside. So I can't run up to the control room because they will likely shoot you. So now I have to hesitate a little and just be patient and kill these guys before running up. So a fully charged lasercraft work shot to the head will insta-kill them. And we're going to aim to shoot them through a gap between the railing and the ship behind us. But they can also shoot you through it. So take note of that, because a shot from these guys, their guns are called the Oberkommando. They fucking one-shot you, alright? So that's one down. A blessing in this encounter, though, is that the Nazis usually surround them, and you can see he's shooting at me there. most of the regular Nazis get killed off when you kill these Zersterers, because when they die, they explode and kill everything around them. I think there's like one troop left that I have to deal with, because when this encounter ends, there is an indicator. BG will say something to Frau Engel.
Can you feel it, General?
There we go. So that is Wolfenstein 2, hopefully done with on mein Leben. Assuming that you don't crash, get a power cut, or have to exit to the main menu, or you don't fall out the map, or the game doesn't glitch out the map, or you don't die to Frau Engel. You should be good. There's also a 20 health in this room, which we can grab. It's just on a table under one of the seats.
Ever had on this show.
This needs to happen up close.
Everywhere.
For you, Caroline.
General Engel! Yeah!
So now, we call the elevator down, and don't hesitate, just run right fucking towards her.
What the hell?
And we're done with mein Leben, hopefully. You can see I was on Death Incarnate here. I'll get the achievement in a second. Because mein Leben and Death Incarnate, if you don't know, they are the same numerical difficulty. It's just mein Leben doesn't have any saves. So now you're done with the mental genocide that is mein Leben. Well done. And it only cost you your soul, your pride, your heart, a lot of your time, too much of your time really, and your mental health. But look on the bright side, you've got your 30 gamer score achievement or bronze trophy, so well done. Bravo. You did it, you stupid bastard. Thanks for watching. If you have a question, request, or recommendation related to mein Leben and or this tutorial, comment. This also took a long time and a lot of effort, as you can imagine, both completing this run back in the day and constructing this tutorial. As a result, a rating would be much obliged, preferably of the positive breed. Either way, as I said, thank you for watching, and if you're dedicated enough to really give mein Leben a shot, good luck.